Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. So let's get into it. So tell me more. Um, what you guys do and how maybe we can work together. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So, first of all, nice to meet you. My name is AJ. I was the one who
AJ.
initially emailed you. Um,
Okay.
I'm the current team lead for Gaia, and Gaia was founded. Trying to think, either 3 or 4 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
by some PhD students at Cornell who were taking an engineering leadership course.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, since then, it was founded by three of them. Since two of them have left, either graduated, go to like different job. One of them is still with us,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
finishing her PhD. Um, but the goal of Gaia, in essence, is motivated, by the fact that traditional college engineering project teams are very black box in a sense. And when we say that, we mean, let's take like Formula One F racing, like project team for example. They'll spend a whole year like maybe trying to make their race cars drive like 0.1 seconds faster,
Mm-hmm.
and to that end, that's great, and it's a great learning experience for the students. But um, the the thought behind it is, could project teams accomplish something greater with their work and effort? And apply that forward to maybe serve the global community. Um,
Yeah.
so that's when the idea was formed of, uh, maybe let's make a college engineering project team competition that addresses a global sustainability challenge or challenges kids to really think outside the scope of their work. Other orgs that share a similar idea, like maybe ESW, Engineers for a Sustainable World, or Engineers Without Borders,
Mm-hmm.
they don't have this competition aspect to them. They're very hands-on collaborative, which is great, don't get me wrong. But when we're talking about the realm of just competition-based engineering project teams, um, basically there isn't one that kind of dips into this kind of scope of global impact like this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that's the rationale about just why Gaia was founded. Like I said, that was like 3 years ago, so we're still relatively new. And we've actually had very successful first 2 years. We had our first in-person competition last year. We had a Cornell competitor team, a competitor team from UCSD, and a competitor team from MIT.
Mm-hmm.
We were able to fly them out to the Ithaca campus, and the theme of last year's competition was we partnered with this NGO called World Bike Relief.
Mm-hmm.
Um, their whole thing is they make bikes and they are a manufacturer of their own product for communities in across Africa, Southeast Asia, Latin America. And what we had our competitors do is they wanted to improve their reliance testing. So we had them design like a sensor suite for a model bike
Mm-hmm.
that they would be able to use, to get more accurate readings for field tests. One of the motivations behind the competition last year was, uh, the testing that's actually done to um, for the Buffalo bike is what they call their model bike for deployment out in the field is done in really controlled flats like ideal facilities. They haven't really done reliance testing out in the field, so actually developing a sensor suite for the bike that could accurately capture like data that they could use for that reliance testing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that was our first ever in-person competition. That was last year. Uh, the year before that, our inaugural year, we didn't have a competition because it was only between two teams, but
Mm-hmm.
we had what we called like a demo day where the teams still got to like present their work and their findings. It was just the Cornell competitor team and the MIT competitor team. It was we partnered with a Peruvian NGO who works in wind power and wind turbines for local communities in that area by Trujillo, and basically we challenged them to develop the lowest cost controller for operating the wind turbine that they could. Um, so yeah, that was a great like kickoff, and I
What's
think
your
this
IP
year,
regime? Are you doing this all open source or is there proprietary info?
no, we've actually talked about this before. I mean, as a student organization, we haven't really dipped into IP at all. We've looked at our university's like IP, rules and whatnot. Um, but mostly what we determine is like whatever we develop in the competition itself, will just be like, used, our partner will be able to like use for their purposes, yeah.
Under an open license, or
Yeah, because what we were concerned about initially was like, oh, if we're a student organization organizing this competition, like, would anything that's made, quote unquote, belong to the university? Yeah, I mean, we didn't really run into that issue. I think not unless we report it, basically. So yeah, I don't want to say it's like open. I wish I could give you a more detailed answer, but honestly, don't really know that much about IP law and address. Yeah.
so in the future, like when we get if we get involved or like whatever's coming out, is that going to be an issue? Like if we definitely want to keep all the information open for anybody to build upon or start a business or whatever the
Yeah, I
competition is,
mean,
whatever productization happens.
I don't see it being an issue. We've
Yeah.
never run into that issue before. I mean, if anything, having whatever is made in the competition as open source like aligns with our goal and our
Yeah.
mission.
Yeah.
So I see no reason not to want to do that.
Yeah.
Uh, so I'm totally on board with that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So what the competition for this year? What are you thinking for that? You're trying to get a number of teams aligned for this year. Is that the idea?
Yeah, yeah. So, I guess maybe I should make the distinction that, us as Gaia, we're the competition organizers, and there's
Mm-hmm.
also like the project team of for Gaia that's separately from us organizers at Cornell as well. Uh, so we have the Cornell team, we have the UCSD team. We're seeing if we can bring back the MIT team as well, and we're hoping this year we're able to expand it to 4 to 6 schools is our goal. We've been talking with some people who've been interested that we've contacted from Virginia Tech and UC
Mm-hmm.
Berkeley.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can onboard those 2 schools and either bring back MIT or maybe get another school competition team get going along with that, that would be our goal for this year in terms
Mm-hmm.
of like size. Yeah.
Yeah. Is this
Mhm.
so? You're saying that to develop project teams within those universities, basically the coordinating teams?
Yeah, so the way we've done it so far is honestly we leave the recruitment of the team itself to an interested individual. So we get
Mm-hmm.
one person who's interested at that university
Mm-hmm.
and basically we test them with, okay, can you find other individuals at your school who would want to work on this project with you? And we
Mm-hmm.
give them like all the marketing materials that they need
Mm-hmm.
to basically recruit kids at their school.
Mm-hmm.
Um that's how we did the UCSD team and
Yep.
MIT teams and it was successful. Yeah.
Is Gaia a student organization at Cornell?
Yeah, we are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're a registered student org. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So what do we do?
Um, so at least my thought is, when I'm on the partner search for, people who we collaborate with, what I'm thinking is who would be a partner where we can make whatever they're servicing or whatever their main work is, what would be what would lead to the best problem statement? Because the problem statement is the main
Yeah.
kind of like deliverable that we give as Gaia in the fall to the teams. Uh, and we've had our trials and tribulations with our past partners in terms of like what works, what doesn't work with the partner and making the problem statement. What I've learned personally is if our partner is making um tangible like goods or services that like how you guys make the correct me if I'm wrong, but uh the the suite of like items, right?
Yeah,
I
the
forgot the
suite
name
of
of it.
Global Village construction set, real tools. We build
Yeah,
homes, 3D printers, tractors. Mm-hmm.
yeah, stuff like that exactly. That would be very optimal to like just build a problem statement off of that because all the groundwork
Mm-hmm.
is laid down there already. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so I guess my main question is, do you have any questions so far? Yeah.
No, keep going.
Yeah, yeah. So my main question would be, our timeline currently is, we aim to, one of our goals this year is we actually want to push up our timeline because traditionally we release our problem statement like over winter break for
Mm-hmm.
teams to like read, get familiarized with, and then for them to start working in the spring. Some feedback we got from our like competitors last year were,
Mm-hmm.
oh, they didn't feel like they needed more time to actually work on their projects.
Mm-hmm.
Because 1 semester wasn't enough. So we actually want to release this year's problem statement at least at latest like midway through the fall semester. So like ideally like October slash like
Mm-hmm.
early November. Um,
Yeah.
what my question would be, is there a specific product um made right now by open source ecology that you would want to be worked on or some aspect worked on that we can make into a promise statement for our competitors, and that would kind of align with that timeline of we release a promise statement October, November, and
Mm-hmm.
then their competitors will have the results by like end of school year, so like May next May.
Okay, May timeline. Yeah. Um, what are when you define the problem statements? Do you have some specifications you go by? Like, I mean,
Yeah,
do you have a
so
list of that? Like, do you have a link or something for what that is?
we don't like so we actually have let me because I'm pretty sure we still have our problem statements from last year up on our website. Let me just see if I can find it here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes, so like we don't like release how we write a problem statement, but we
Mm-hmm.
release the actual problem statements themselves. The download button's not working. Give me a second. I can go into our drive and maybe download and send it
Yeah.
to you.
What's this team size that competes from each school?
Yeah, so it varies. So the UCSD team last year was like four people, and the Cornell team was like either six or seven
Mm-hmm.
people. MIT was three people.
Mm-hmm.
So it varies. We don't have a requirement for how many people are on one team. Well, I guess the only requirement is at least two people
Yeah.
make a team. But besides that, yeah, we leave it up to them for how much they want to recruit.
Yeah.
Um, okay, wait. Sorry, give me one second. I'm just gonna find.
Did you ever think of so that you talk about competition? Any elements of collaboration between the teams? We when we do, like for example, we thought about doing Hero X. Have you heard of Hero X?
No, I haven't. No.
It's an offshoot of the X Prize, but it's an incentive challenge competition. But it's all proprietary and all that.
Yeah.
They compete. What we were thinking about is do a competition, but there are elements of collaboration for all the different
Yeah,
teams
yeah. Mm.
where you're required to share. Like if one team develops something, they release it openly to the other teams. Like, have you thought of any rules like that?
Yeah, yeah. So we actually haven't done anything formally, but I'm super glad that you brought this up because
Mm-hmm.
the Cornell and UCSD teams actually this past May at the competition um the Cornell team had this certain aspect of their design that they didn't get to finish by the competition day. Uh and they actually invited the UCSD people to collaborate with them if they wanted to like help them finish it, even though like post competition just for the sake of it. Um, they invited them for collaboration, and I don't know how much progress they made, but I do know that they were trying to set something up. Yeah, like they wanted to finish a certain aspect of their design. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. And what's do they have budgets for it? For any
Yeah,
builds?
so I think the goal typically is um whatever well our policy is whatever they buy in terms of for the promise statement itself, like what materials that they need, we reimburse them.
As
Um
Gaia, and you have access to that funding through the student org office.
yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
we reimburse them with grant money that we've won already. That's what we did last year, and we were reapplying for the same grants this year.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's usually what happens. Mhm.
What's the grant budget? What's your total grant there? You're talking about?
We won a community engagement grant like either 2 years ago or something like that for like $15,000 that we've been using since.
Mm-hmm.
Over the past 2 years, we've exhausted that fund a bit,
Mm-hmm.
so uh, we're looking to. I'm working with like our business like leader now to basically like reapply for that same grant and like for other grants as well, so we can just have a steady like funding source coming in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's Cornell funding that for community outreach and
Yeah, so
engagement.
it's actually the Cornell Einhorn Center, and the Einhorn Center is like Cornell's Center for Community Engagement. Yeah. Um, I forgot the
Mm-hmm.
exact name of the grant that we won 2 years ago for that, but that's the grant came from the Cornell Einhorn Center. Yeah.
Aha. Einhorn Center, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Um, let's see. So, do you recruit? What area? What's your major?
Yeah, so me personally, I have a double major in global development and biological engineering.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm applying to grad school this year, and I want to go to grad school for fluid mechanics and dynamics. Specifically, I want to get into environmental fluid dynamics and mechanics, and I want to see how it could be used as a tool for sustainability and community development. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Would you be so? Are you the person doing recruiting on your campus for the this year's Gaia competition, or
No, we have a recruiting lead. Her name is Sophia. Yeah. She sorry,
what's her name?
because we had to change the time, but none of the other leads were able to make it at this time, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What's her name?
Sophia.
Sophia. Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
And I mean, so your goal is to expand to a few other schools and make the competition bigger than last time.
Yeah, hopefully I would say we were maybe our first year we were a little ambitious. We're like, oh yeah, we want like 10 schools for this, and like we realized that recruiting is like really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Um
Yeah.
so we started off with two, last year was three, now we're aiming
Yeah.
for four to six, like taking small steps at a time, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, so I'm actually trying to go on college too. So I don't know if you've seen our work, but we started the Future Builders Academy in our work.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're recruiting. I'm going on college tour this year. Can you invite me to Cornell?
Yeah, of course. Is it like a um I'm trying
Would
to
that?
think.
Yeah.
When you
Are you
say
are you thinking that would be so basically through Gaia, and I can talk about the potential project or something like that, or would it be more something another department that talks either about sustainability, housing issues, appropriate technology, or open source, any other related areas on regenerative development and changing the
yeah,
world?
yeah. Yeah, so for what you're doing, I would say it's probably better to go through a different department at Cornell.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you could probably get better exposure that way. You like promote, you can maybe like ask, hey, maybe I want to give like a guest talk or like guest speaker series or something like that. Um, It's probably better because just as Gaia as a student org, like you would only be promoting to the people who already know, who already know, like because we're partnering, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would probably recommend going through like maybe an academic department at Cornell, maybe urban and regional studies, global development. That's my department. Yeah, I would probably reach out to like the mailing lists of or whoever's the program manager of those departments and just like say, oh yeah, if we come to your campus, would you promote our events or like would you sponsor our event basically?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, do you have people you can talk to? Can you help me out on that and talk to somebody at Global Development or such or?
Yeah, I can help out on the global development end. I don't know how useful I would be outside of that though, in
Mm-hmm.
terms of the different departments outside of that. But if what you're like saying, about the sustainable housing and urban development and stuff like that, I would imagine probably urban and regional studies in our architecture school would probably be more like suitable for that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
there are probably people in global development who are interested in that, but I think you would find a lot better traction in that kind of department. Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. I mean, we do talk about like the global picture of how we change the economy with global collaboration, though, basically open sourcing critical infrastructure tools of humanity and aiming towards the open source economy where we're saying, well, instead of corporate R&D being all proprietary behind in silos, what happens when we collaborate and develop everything
Yeah, yeah,
openly,
yeah.
kind of the big picture, which is it's more like a global development thing than just it's more big picture than any kind of area such as urban development or such.
Yeah.
What would be the department in like a systems? So this would be more like systems transformation, complex system design kind of departments. What's the closest to that you've got at Cornell?
Um, Systems design trends.
Like complex systems,
Hmm. I mean, I know
interdisciplinary studies.
there's a graduate program in like systems engineering. The department itself is operations research and industrial engineering.
Yeah,
Um, that's
yeah,
probably what you're talking about, I think.
yeah, yeah. It is. It is all about how do we make the economy more efficient and humane. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Do you know any people in that department or?
No, I personally do
Hmm.
not.
Yeah.
Sorry. No.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I'm kind of disconnected from that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So, I guess one part that I have not mentioned yet
Mm-hmm.
was one of the main points, of the competition itself, because when you have a competition in spirit, you would want to provide the winners with some kind of reward or
Mm-hmm.
incentive.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Traditionally, what we've done the past 2 years is, or what we tried to do is, we send the winners of the competition, actually international, to go visit our partner and go
Yeah.
implement their design in person.
Yeah.
2 years ago, we had a very successful Peru trip, with the wind turbines that I talked about before.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you want to if you want to look at that more, I'll send you. I already sent you
Yeah.
this, but our link to our website right there.
Mm-hmm.
You put in the chat. Yeah, they went to Trujillo, Peru. We sent two representatives from the Cornell team. They got to work with the engineers at Windade in Peru and implement their design, which was awesome. And the idea last year was we were going to send the people from the competition um, to the program country that World Bike Relief was operating in, but internally, World Bike Relief cannot support like guests or visitors due to the budget cuts from nationally right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we unfortunately had to cancel. Um, and given the political climate of the whole country right now, uh, we are um,
Yeah.
we are heavily leaning towards a domestic partner for this year.
Yeah.
In a sense that
Yeah.
if we can partner domestically, then we can still like send whoever the team that wins representatives to wherever they operate and maybe like collaborate with you guys and show the design in person and whatnot of what they made basically.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's a specific thing. So we're building an open source skid steer with digital cutting, so CNC torch table and actually automated, so computer vision and scanning of the terrain. So it's quite an ambitious thing, but we've developed the hydraulics, we've built tractors and things like that. Now we're
Yeah.
adding the electronics controls to do automation, precision motion. So this is something we're actually starting in November, and we're building a beta release prototype at the end of November. Now,
Okay.
there's going to be, sorry, end of like right before Christmas. So it's going to be like our Christmas gift to the world. But
Yeah.
in terms of future follow up work, I mean, that's a project we're starting in November.
Hmm.
But I mean, obviously, we'll continue until we get it to a close to a product release that rivals like
I got you. Yeah.
$160,000 machines, and we
Yeah.
build that for $25,000. So this,
Yeah, so that's actually like in terms of timeline wise, that's kind of like ideal because obviously the timeline of or the cycle of you guys making that product will probably or most definitely outlast this year's competition. But
hmm
maybe the goal could be you like we have students working on like a lot of the preliminary designs of like these parts that you guys want to like prototype
yeah,
and test out, and that can really contribute to that cause probably.
yeah, yeah,
Um
absolutely. There's a
and
modular breakdown of all kinds of components. We can
yeah.
select some priority interest areas, and so the build is actually going to happen December 17th through the more like 16 or it's the week about 10 days before the 22nd, so about 14th through the 22nd or so. or 13
Okay,
to
okay.
20 seconds. So that's an intense week of a build that if you want to advertise to your students, saying, "Hey, show up to this. It's happening in real life. You're actually going to build this thing."
Yeah. I think that might be a little hard, honestly,
Mm-hmm.
because that's right in the middle of like the semester for kids,
Mm-hmm.
and for them to travel like that
Yeah.
might be asking too much.
Yeah.
Honestly, what I think would be more appropriate, or I think would even
Mm-hmm.
be cooler, would be if we can have a similar idea like that, but in May, where they can come to your guys' like workshop wherever it is,
We'll be
um, and
we'll
then
be
maybe
doing it again.
present their designs to your team or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so we're gonna do the what we can by the end of this year, but obviously this thing will be it's a core machine that we use for all of construction and also then other agricultural duties. So
yeah.
we'll be developing that and then implements or different subsystems. So
Hmm.
there'll be plenty to do there. Power
So my
units. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was
Go
just gonna
ahead.
ask, so my main question would be, we we always want to ensure that whatever competition problem statement or topic that we're doing
Mm-hmm.
is realistic and actually attainable for like just college engineering level students to work on.
Yeah.
It would be awesome if like we could just have unlimited resources and then have them work on whatever. But my question would be, do you have like a specific idea of like maybe a part of this of the system or part of a subsystem that would be realistic for them to work on and like feasible in terms of like, space, time, and
Okay.
cost, whatever?
How about using open source software to do part designers? Like, okay, so we use FreeCAD, and in
Okay.
FreeCAD it's Python based, so you can program it, and as simple as here's an interface where you create part libraries and then drag and drop them into realistic designs. So
Yeah.
basically, a software project. I mean, would people be interested in software or? I mean, it's connected to the reality because out of FreeCAD comes digital fabrication files, and also
Yeah.
the tool chain that we're going to use is going to involve uh,
Yeah. We're
scanning
not
everything.
we're not entirely opposed to like a software-based competition, but I would say that in terms of what has worked for Gaia in the past and what we
Mm-hmm.
Probably want to lean more towards. It might be more like a mechanical or like
Okay.
electrical
Well.
based like problem statement. Yeah.
Okay. Then drive units. So we use modular drive units, which are
Oh,
based on
okay. That's
hydraulics. How about that?
awesome. Yeah, yeah. That I mean, I'm un me personally, I'm unfamiliar with drive units. I might have to Google what that is.
Well, it's the idea that you've got to. So on our tractors, we use universal rotors, which
Yeah.
are either drive units for wheels. They can drive any rotary implements, like anything that has a spinning shaft. Okay, take a mower, take
Yeah.
a cement mixer, take anything else. The drive unit is a heavy duty mechanical unit that's based on a hydraulic motor with a gear down, and the
Yeah,
gear
I see
downs.
it.
It's like in skid steers they have gear downs based on chain drive, and we're actually implementing this through
Yeah.
chain drive, so you can use a very low cost hydraulic motor, and then you're scaling its torque using
Yeah.
large chain gear downs, which
Yeah.
is
No, I
what we're
just looked
doing.
it up what it was right now, and yeah,
Yeah,
I totally see. Like this is exactly like up the
that would be
alley that'd be
yeah,
perfect for like the competition, yeah.
yeah.
Because it's something tangible that like the kids can work on like in person,
Mm-hmm.
which really drives engagement from the competitors. Um, and the reason why we've always been a little bit hesitant of software-based competition is because if when we bring them out here for the competition day, we want them to like actually bring their designs and bring like something tangible to show everyone and like present on instead of maybe like some lines of code or maybe showing it online. Because at that
Well,
point, we might as well just have the competition day online. You know what I mean? Yeah.
okay, so here's another like with that drive unit for wheels, put an encoder on it so you actually can control it better. So
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
like
No,
things like
that's
that, like oh, I mean that's something that comes to my mind immediately because then you can actually use this kind of a thing, including for now getting into automation aspects, like almost like a robotic arm where you have. I mean that's a much
yeah.
more
Yeah.
precise system, but the
Yeah.
fact that you can control the rotary motion in a yeah
You
control
know, and
that
on we had success with that last year too because
yeah
at least when we had them design the sensor suite, they had to do like obviously some coding to actually like do the signal processing
Mm-hmm.
and data cleaning essentially of the noise and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
we want the focal point to be like a mechanical or electrical based like
Yeah.
aspect of your thing, but we like obviously some code is still welcome. Yeah,
Yeah.
coding is
Yeah.
still,
And
yeah.
that point, yeah, that's auxiliary, not the core of that project. Yeah.
Exactly. No, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I honestly I love the sound of the idea. It sounds like a really awesome one. And just so you know, I also want to ask this all the time, but you said this is for the tr one of the tractors for
Yeah.
your village, store, right?
For
Um,
vehicles, for specifically what we're building out right now is the open source skid steer. So you know what a skid steer is?
I do not,
Let's
unfortunately.
just Google that skid steer.
Skid steer. Let me see.
That's what
Skid.
those are. That one of those.
Oh, okay. So I can see this like definitely being used in like agricultural set like
Yeah,
purposes.
agriculture,
Okay.
construction, and utility work of all sorts.
Awesome, yeah. And the motivation is that anyone, regardless of like socioeconomic background, could be able to build this eventually instead of
Yeah.
buying like a really expensive one.
Well, and the bigger point of that is also if you look at the details of it, these machines in industrial use last 5 years. If you open
Yeah.
source it, you can maintain it forever. So that's a game changer in terms of the cost structure of how expensive it is to own and run one of these.
Yeah. No, I'm totally on board with that. I think it's an awesome idea, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
for a competition. And what I also wonder is, do you have a team of like engineers that you work with, or
We
do you
work
work
with
entirely?
it's a global distributed team of people who collaborate. We don't have staff right now. We're just starting the apprenticeship program in which we
Yeah.
are training people to do this for a living. In other words, a dedicated team
Oh.
that we're actually hiring, and we're cross subsidizing them by we're building houses. We actually work 2 days a week building homes. The rest of the
Mhm.
time we play doing learning how to design and build just about anything.
Oh, very, very cool. Yeah. The only reason I asked is because last year we were like, just making getting the specifics for the problem statement, like the specs and whatnot that we need
Mm-hmm.
to communicate to the teams. We worked with the product development team at World Bike Relief, and that was really
Mm-hmm.
helpful on our end. Just to get that information that we needed. But whether it's just you or like a team of people that already know what's going on, if as long as we have like I guess have what we need for the for the problem statement itself document, then yeah. Um, like for example, maybe we you want a certain watt output of the drive unit. That's like kind of stuff that information that we would need to actually write the problem statement, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's perfect then. Whether it's you or whether it's like maybe the people who are getting trained. Yeah.
Yeah. So meet the team. So Andrew, Sophia, Rebecca, Eric, Kelly. Is this
Mhm.
all people at the Cornell?
Yeah, so these are all like just Cornell students who are
Mm-hmm.
part of like the Gaia organizers, yeah.
Yeah. And how many of them actually participated in doing the development work?
Oh, so that's the thing. Everyone like us as Gaia as a club, we're the makers of the competition, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
itself. Uh-huh.
And the competition, the participants, that's not the organizing team.
Yeah, so there's a competitor team, so actual project team at
Mm-hmm.
Cornell that competes in our competition. But us as Gaia, we're like just the people who organize it for everyone across all schools. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
We have a great team. We're going to be doing a lot of like internal recruitment this year, so like we want to really increase our numbers yeah, on the organizer side, especially because most of our leadership are like seniors or graduating. So we want to ensure that there's enough continuity and people to pick up on the leadership positions after we leave.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of recruitment both for the competition, competitor teams, and internally this year.
Yeah. 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 So what's our first step?
The first step right now, for the past 2 weeks we've been doing is this. It's just I would like for you to meet the rest of the leadership team. So Becca, Eric, and Sophia.
Uh huh.
Especially Becca, because Becca was one of the founders. She's the one who leads our engineering sub team, and engineering sub team is the one who actually writes the problem statement. Um, so I think we should set up a meeting where you could meet the three of them. I'll be there of course as well, and we can talk basically like what you just told me right now. Everything let's just communicate that with them too. Um, and after we meet or you meet everyone, then I guess the thing to do is get working on the problem statement. Yeah, like what you want specifically in that.
Yep. Let's work on a problem statement to define it and how students can join. Is there any organizations comparable to yours on campuses that you know of?
That's the thing, though. At least to my knowledge, we're like a very we walk this very fine line, or we're in this very unique space of like or we're in this very unique space of overlapping engineering, global sustainability work, and like project team competition. Usually like they fall into like two of the three. You have like engineering project team and like competition as two, global sustainability work and engineering as another. But like rarely, I have not really seen one that combines all three per se.
Uh-huh. So you've got competition, you've got real world problem statement. What's the third thing?
Engineering project team. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
like at the undergraduate level. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
So
That
yeah,
sounds
I
good.
mean, me personally, like I think I've come at least to this point to recognize when a partner would be a good fit for us, and I think that open source ecology could be a great fit for a partner this year. Do you mind if I ask if you feel the same way, or do you have any comments right now or anything?
Um, I think it's a great idea to get college students involved in this work. I mean, I'm planning on a college tour where we are promoting our work in a sense that right now we got to the point where we can actually hire people
Yeah,
and provide jobs. Before it was like funding was always an issue, but we've developed a realistic revenue model where we can support people and continue developing the R&D capacity. So it's actually a very good time right now. And you're
hmm
asking um, is this kind of a competition something that OSC is generally interested in, or what's your question more specifically?
yeah. I guess at least on our end, I see this
Mm-hmm.
being as a really fruitful partnership. You know, I the reason I bring this up is because um at least what I've learned from last year
Mm-hmm.
is,
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, it always has to be a strategic move for our partners to be able to want to partner with us. Um, in the sense that, like, for example, World Bike Relief, the reason they couldn't do like the trip with us last year and they had to cancel was because it didn't like financially make the most sense at the time. Even though, because of the budget cuts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I guess on OSC's side, do you, I guess, see this as like a partnership worth having? Yeah.
That, I mean, that depends on what's produced. I mean, if if there's a lot
Yeah.
of development that happens, I mean,
Yeah.
the answer would be absolutely. I mean, we're
Mm,
talking about taking a proprietary design that's extremely
yeah.
expensive, that's designed for a 5 year lifetime, and then make it lifetime design and at about 1/6 of the cost of industry standards. That's big. In terms of
Yeah.
enabling people to run successful operations, reduce their operating costs, it's huge. It's a question of how, you know, is technology delivering the promise of making comfortable lives for people and leaving nobody behind? It's part of that bigger question. So if we succeed in moving this forward a bit, I mean, we're talking about a product release that competes with people like Case and Bobcat. I mean,
Yeah,
that's what we're talking
exactly.
about. That's huge. So
And
if we have
the
the effort and people joining and we get push this further and further to product release, the question is how soon can we get there? I mean, for us,
yeah,
the timeline is all the 50 global village construction set tools by 2028. We're talking about major scaling in the next few years as we're ramping up the apprenticeship. So we're in this extreme growth phase where we think we figured out the techniques and the development method and the funding method to make this happen. So this could be great if, but once again, like, do people commit the time and do we find students? I mean, how successful are we in recruiting? Say we announce this and it's like nobody shows up. What do we do? Do we just spend a lot of
Yeah,
time talking,
so
or
something I actually should have prefaced before is
yeah,
actually we do recruitment before we announce our partner and our
yeah,
promise statement actually. So
mm-hmm,
uh
mm-hmm,
yeah, I think we don't announce our partner to be like, oh yeah, like join this competition for this specifically.
mm-hmm,
We do all our recruiting before
yeah,
we even like announce it. Yeah. That's what we've
yeah,
done before.
yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Yeah, no,
Um,
it could be great. I mean, the
and
more.
the quality of whatever the students will produce will only be reflective of how much support we give them. Um, so like that's why we always want to ensure that we're giving them the best quality promise statement and support that they need when they're actually working on these on the promise statement.
So
Because
how do you assure that they get the most support?
yeah, so what we've done in past is our engineering sub team at Gaia basically are providers of like technical knowledge and support of what they would need to know. So I don't know, for example, I'll just take an example. Like last year, UCSD was working with a CAD for the bike to start like mapping out where to put the sensors on the bike last year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Most of them were underclassmen and did not really know how to work CAD. So the engineering sub team basically had like office hours for them to hop on and basically teach them like, oh yeah, this is how you run the CAD, this is what you do,
Mm-hmm.
et cetera, et
Mm-hmm.
cetera. Not giving them the answer because, at the end of the day, this is a competition and we want them to learn and grow from it for themselves. But we gave them the tools that they needed to be able to work it and figure it out themselves instead of just starting from like scratch entirely. Yeah. Like
Right.
the key is not hand-holding them throughout the entire process, but like leveraging them enough to be able to take off on their own, especially at the undergraduate level when they don't have that specific all those technical skills that they would have, maybe like someone who's been working or someone who's like a graduate student. Yeah.
Okay. This brings up the question of, do you have access to subject matter experts that we can tap? Like, do you have any network as such through Cornell, or any graduate groups or anything, alumni association or whatever? I mean, the technical expertise is like the key thing, because all this knowledge is out there, but it's all proprietary, right? So that's what we're working on. We're working on open
Yeah.
sourcing a lot of
So
critical components.
what we've also done before is like, for example, uh, let's just say 2 years ago when we were working with wind aid in the wind turbines,
Mm-hmm.
we would contact like professors and faculty who do
Mm-hmm.
research on that at Cornell and basically ask them, hey, what's your opinion on this X, Y, and Z? What would you recommend doing for this, and that? Um, it's a little bit hard because the nature of our organization is the problem statement changes from year to year. So it's hard to have someone like people
Mm-hmm.
on our like
Yeah.
with our org constantly who could provide that technical expertise.
Right.
But I think the important thing for us to do is whatever we just happen to be working on that year, being able to just like email like faculty or researchers at our school who are working on that and could provide like good feedback on like maybe we write we decide to go with the drive unit and we want to consult maybe like a Mechie professor at our school
Yeah. Yeah.
like what do you think about this, like would you have any feedback if you could like maybe we could set up a meeting for like 30 minutes and you could just give us quick feedback on what you think of our problem statement. Like that kind of
Yeah.
thing, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm. Or
I
design
mean, just
review of work in progress, stuff like that.
yeah, and just
Mm-hmm.
Cornell. I mean, I feel like Cornell in and of itself just being like such a engineering
Yeah.
focused school
Powerhouse.
and being an R1 university, we have a bunch of professors who are always willing to help out with stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
especially if it's like student initiative.
Yeah.
Like I really think we have a great technical base at our school, but it just comes down to like we just need to reach out to them ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that sounds great. The promise is amazing
Yeah.
if we can tap it. Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I don't I I don't really have any qualms at all with working
Mm-hmm.
together.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything that you want to add or
No,
comments?
no, no. The question would be, so realistically, how much time can the students contribute to it, and how do we promote the collaboration between the teams? Because I would see that. How about reframing it? This is not a collaboration, but a collaboration, or collaboration
Collaboration.
collaboration based competition, where it's like, what are you competing for? If the drive is internal, then you're saying I'm competing for the best performance,
Mm.
while sharing everything else. Because how can it be the best it can be if people are working individually on the project? So we're trying to
Oh
change the
yeah, so
culture
we
to say,
yeah.
well, no, you're competing to make the best thing, and the metrics would be like, can we set the metrics as how much you contributed in terms of open usable know-how that the other teams picked up, and that would be how you judge the competition. It's not like which team gets the better, like working individually. How are you actually collaborating in this whole process?
Yeah, so what we done, the original idea actually was the incentive was actually going to be our trip. That was going to be the prize per se.
Right.
So whoever wins the competition would get to send some of their members actually like internationally to work. And we actually did do that first year. Like that did happen. Last year, like I said, budget cuts that just did not allow that to happen. Um, and honestly, this year we're very open to like experimenting new things within the
Mm-hmm.
competition itself.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, if you have an idea that you would want to see for like collaboration between teams, like
Yeah.
just write something up, shoot it our way,
Yep.
and like we could totally see if we can like implement something like that, like totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll send you some notes on here's the uh, the metrics of success. Here's the basically you're asking about judging criteria, right?
Yeah.
What how can we modify them to emphasize collaboration as opposed to competition?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. We could do that. Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So maybe let's see. And just to wrap up the concept of so regarding potential visit to Cornell, what is your best?
Hmm.
So do you think that global development would be a candidate, or should we look for somebody else to actually invite me and maybe do an
Global
honorarium or
development
something?
is, I mean, that is a possibility. Like I said again, I, especially at our school, we I'm not an architecture, so I mean I don't know that much about it, but I do know that we have one of the best architecture schools in the country, and I feel like if you really wanted to tap into that base, that would be such a worthwhile and powerful thing to like really try to like promote yourself at. Um, so I would really, me personally, I would really recommend urban and regional like planning studies in the College of Architecture, Art and Planning. Yeah. Based on what you told me,
Mm-hmm.
it
Mm-hmm.
sounds like the best fit for you.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, GDEV is another option. I have obviously more connections in there, but I think fit-wise, urban is probably your best bet.
Is it called the Department of Urban Planning?
Yeah, Department of Urban Planning in the AAP school. Yeah, Architecture, Art, and Planning.
It's called AUP school.
Oh, AAP. So Architecture, Art, so two A's and one P.
What's the two A's? Architecture.
Art and Planning. Hmm.
Okay. Art. So it includes the fine arts, like arts, various
Yeah,
arts.
yeah. So it's a really interesting college because
Hmm.
it's like one college for like four majors: architecture, fine arts, urban and regional planning, and like I think one other one I
Yeah. Do any
forgot.
particular
But yeah,
names?
it's really cool college. Really small too. Only like I'm gonna be honest, no, I'm not tapped into that department at all. Sorry.
Right. Not. Yeah. So I can look into if there's any interesting people who are in that for specific people to contact, or who do I contact? Would I contact the secretary at the
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
ask?
I think you could just go on the major's website and then you could find like a program manager. I'm pretty sure
Mm-hmm.
that'll be the best person to probably contact for that. Yeah, because usually the program manager is like the person who like approves or like approves like major sponsored events basically. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're talking
If
about
it's-
program manager for AAP.
No, not AAP, not the college itself, but the major of urban and regional planning and study. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So the
like for
major of urban and
example.
regional planning. Okay.
Like for example, my major global development, they're the one like we our program manager, her name is Delenn, and basically she like is the one who coordinates like guest speakers for our department basically and whatnot, yeah. So I would imagine it's very similar in their department too. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds good.
So yeah, I guess right now,
Hmm.
do we want to maybe find a time next week when everyone we can meet the rest of the team, if
Yep.
that works for you?
Yep. Can we do it
Uh,
actually a little later? Like, so actually next week, every day till 6, we're out there. We've got the builder crash course for the next 14 days. But
Gotcha.
would
Okay.
7 p.m. work for you? Or is that too late?
Oh, that's fine. I think they couldn't make it because it's just a Friday night.
Yeah.
So, do you want to choose maybe like Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that? Would that work for you?
Wednesday. How about Wednesday?
So
How about
Wednesday, 6 p.m. for you, your time, right?
Oh, it'll be 7 p.m. my time. Would that work for you guys still? That's like 8?
Yeah, so that's 8 for us. Yeah,
Does that
that's
still
fine.
work?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that should be fine.
Okay, send me an invite. We'll take it from there.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I'm super glad to have met you, Marcin. Am I saying your name right? By the way,
Yeah,
I
it's
want to make
marching like marching to the rhythm. Mm-hmm.
Marcin. Okay, got you, got you.
Yeah.
Marcin. Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm like super
No, it's
stoked about this partnership.
it's um it's exciting. I mean, there's a lot of potential here. I would say. I mean, my main statement would be, how much effort is actually put into and I think with if we write the rules for cooperation into this, then we're really
Yeah.
getting. It's not like getting the work of one team. It's getting the cumulative work of 3 teams or 6 teams, which is a different
Yeah.
story than separate teams competing. I think the product is just much greater. So let's see if how we can tap that.
Yeah, I think that's a really like good thing to talk about with the rest of the team and see what they have to say
Yeah.
about that too, because I would
Ask
love to
yeah.
hear
Ask
it.
them about that because we're trying to rewrite the rules of the economy from competitive to collaborative. That's our mission in one way
Yeah,
to
yeah,
put it.
no, totally.
Right.
Well, yeah, I'll tell them that yeah, we'll talk about that on Tuesday as well. So
Okay.
yeah. Awesome. Well, it was great meeting you, Marcin.
All right.
Super excited to like just start this partnership. It's really exciting to me.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
exciting. So AJ, thank you for talking and reaching out and we'll be in touch.
of course, yeah. I'll see you on Tuesday. Bye
Okay.
bye.
Take care.